So I've been coloring this first one below the surface. And it says, I bend toward my reflection and see more than memory. Beneath the ripple, the child still waits. The truth still breathes. The self I buried still reaches up, not to pull me under, but to remind me who I am. And what that means to me, uh, it's like for me, it's being able to see myself, right? Being able to see the little boy in me. Um, and for so long, I tried to hide him, right? Or I didn't necessarily give him a voice. I didn't give him, um, a place to be able to speak and be known, right? And so I tried to hide him. And I always thought that there was something wrong with him. But in reality, right, I had to come to learn that there was nothing wrong with him. He wasn't broken. I was broken. If that makes any sense. And the coming to myself was not hiding him. The coming to myself was being able to live freely in him, being able to express himself and not feeling the need to hide it. It's like living in my truth, living in your truth, whatever your truth is. And it doesn't, this thing of like sexuality, it doesn't necessarily mean your truth in the sexuality realm. It's like your truth of who you are, your truth of um, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, your truth of what is good for you, right? In your life, your truth on what you find funny, what is your humor, what makes you happy. All those are your truths. They may not necessarily align with somebody else, um, specifically, right? And so because we all have different things. Like for me right now, um, it's expression, right? So one of my truths is expressive, being able to express myself, because I never used to express myself. Expression for me in life was expressed by acting out. It wasn't. It was never expressed by communicating in a way um, that was beneficial, right? I was too afraid to communicate in the same way that I'm communicating now, which is through my words. Um, my communication was through some sort of destruction and damage. Um, so if you hurt my feelings, if you hurt me, I communicated by uh, a destructive pattern, right? And so today, I don't have to do that. I can communicate in a way that uh, doesn't necessarily cause me harm or the harm to other people in the way that I used to do and how I used to cause myself harm in those arenas. And so it's like digging beneath the surface. I don't know if I like that one. I don't know if I like those. They don't really, I don't really do what I'm trying to get them to do. And so today it's about not allowing fear to dictate what it is I do or don't do. And so, fear of what somebody may think, fear of what I may feel, all of that. Um, it's about not allowing that to dictate what I do. Hence, um, like when I color, how I color, right? I pick a color, literally whatever seems like it looks good in the moment, and I put it on the paper. And I don't worry about whether something matches or doesn't match. Um, I just do it. And at the end of it, see what it looks like. But what I've come up with, right, is in essence is my truest, authentic self. It's without thought. It's without trying to make something fit as pretty as I might think in the world. It's what my inner being and my inner self feels like is pretty to him. And even the me wanting to say I hate the word pretty because I'm not, I don't want to use a word like that. But no, it's pretty. It is what it is. And so I don't have to be so afraid of being. I don't have to be so afraid of my masculinity or lack thereof or whatever. None of that matters. Um, Only thing that matters is me being able to express right my inner self. And so that's it. That's all. And so this here, art of becoming, is a bunch of, I don't know if you would call it level 4 hidden reveals or um, mandalas, but it basically just has a bunch of color designs for you to be able to sit in color, and for you to actually think about the poems or phrases or whatever you want to call them. The truth still breathes. The self I buried still reaches up. So what that tells me is I can't hide from myself. Like I can't hide from it. So eventually he's going to stick his head out and say, come out to play. Um, I have this saying that I self-sabotage when I leave myself behind. And I found that to be true in my life. If I don't bring me with me, right? Meaning I try to be something I'm not, then I will destroy it. I will self sabotage it some point in time in it. I don't care how big it's gotten or how successful it's gotten. I will destroy it because it's almost like living a lie. That's not in my true authentic self. That's not where my power greater than myself desires for me to be. And so that's one thing I'm learning with my poetry. And I know to me my stuff is different, but it's supposed to be because it's me, right? And I'm different. I'm a human, but I'm different in my internal beat. The dance I dance to internally is different than the dance somebody else dances to. I've noticed that in doing this poetry thing is we all dance to a different rhythm. a different beat. And you can hear that person's internal beat through their writing, right? If they're being authentic to themselves. If not, then they're just going to sound like everybody else or somebody else. And so that can be scary as well. This can be scary to be who you are. That scares me sometimes. It scares me a lot of times, right? And it's, I don't even know if it's really the fear of being accepted. Um, I guess it's a little bit of the fear of being accepted. Um, I don't know, or if it's just, that like haven't come to accept fully um what it is for you, right? And so still learning myself. I think oftentimes um we forget that this is our first experience. We ain't never done this before. And so we're coming to understand who we are, right? And then coming to understand who we are, we then are able to assess it and find out who we want to be. And that's a process. At least for me, it's a process. At least for me, it's a process. And so this is art therapy. It's like being able to talk to my inner self, allowing my inner self a voice, not trying to dissuade him, um, but allowing him to speak the authentic versions of me. And so I freestyle color, I go with whatever my spirit says do. And so I started creating these, in hopes that um one, people will like it. Yes, of course. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's like, oh, I hope don't nobody like it. No, but I hope it's just a helpful tool to use for when, because life shows up, right? Life shows up, and it's like, what do we do in between times? In between time of, right, I got fired from my job, for example, right, and getting a new one. So now I have these emotions and these feelings about being fired, right? I have these fears. Um, I have all of these emotional layers, and I don't know what to do with them. And so what this does is it helps in the big between times, right? Of Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be all right. At the end of the day, it's all gonna work itself out, right? Um, at the end of the day, uh, either at the end of the day, either if it's something that you did, right? Either you're gonna learn to do something different, um, or it's just God moving you, or whatever power, universe moving you, where in the position. And so for us, it's like getting past that, getting through that. And this helps me get through those times where The only thing that makes it better is time. Because there's nothing worse than sitting in time, waiting on time, right? Just waiting on time. Time slows down when you're waiting on time. I took this on the plane with me, and I hate flying. And when I tell y'all it was therapeutic, when I tell y'all, not that it didn't erase all of my fears, but it made getting through the moment so much easier, so much better than me just closed fist tightening, clenching it, right? Trying not to let the person next to me know that I'm freaking out. And so that's really it. This is below the surface of my art therapy, the Great Conductor series. So I hope you guys like it.